Ladies and gentlemen, Rio Major Fantasy is live. Oh, is everyone excited? I am. I am. So much to talk about. So many potentially great matchups, and I haven't been so excited for a while. Okay, let's go. And probably we're gonna start with the most obvious one: OG, GG Greyhound. Vitality against Imperial. Anything can happen over here. And we know that Apex can potentially crumble under the pressure. And Uncle Fallen, with his experience, Fur with his experience, can abuse it. And potentially, this can be an upset. Okay, so first we're gonna go with the potential upsets, right? Where anything can happen. So potentially Imperial can win the first game. EG against IHC. I know that NA people and some of European people are gonna say, "Oh, EG gonna win this one," but screw you. IHC is another kind of CIS team, which is not CIS team, but they play exactly like CIS teams playing, and they can screw EG really, really badly, especially in best of one. And if we open the page of the match, let's go. Actually, events. events. So, what are they? EG, here we go. Map pool isn't that good for EG. Nuke, Overpass, Inferno, everything is on IHC side, right? If we're gonna look at the teams they played against, Lin Vision, KNKT, Greyhound, they beat Greyhound, Ilu. So in general, IHC can be a favorite, and I'm gonna go with the potentially. Now Fnatic against Cloud9. Mm, as a Cloud9 believer in this one, I am more than positive that Cloud9 not gonna drop a ball in these first games, right? I'm pretty sure they're gonna go all in straight away without even like thinking about like saving anything up, or they're just gonna go for it. Now BIG, for me, they're dead for this event. I'm not even gonna talk about them, so it's Fury all day long. And I'm gonna lock these ones where I don't see any potential upset or anything. Now 0-0 Nation against Bad News Eagles. Okay, it's similar as a Vitality game. Like Eagles, I'm not sure how they're gonna perform on such a big stage. And 0-0 Nation, to be honest, exactly the same, right? We have Cold Zero and Taco, and then we have three young guns, right? Try looks a little bit shaky. Dumao is doing his job. Lato is kind of either going like crazy rating or kind of sucks deep. So in general, I would say the 0-0 Nation have a slight advantage over here, but I'm not gonna lock it, right? Mouse against outsiders. Mm, I don't believe in Mouse at this event for some reason. I don't know. Probably it's because I don't believe in Dexter. Unlucky. JDC is okay. Sertion played well. Maybe honeymoon period. You never know. Frozen. Um, potentially next guy for promotion, but we don't really know what team he can potentially join. Like one of the options is right over here. It's OG instead of like maybe like Fico, who knows, or Neofrag if he underperforms, right? And OG has that type of money, right? They can buy him out. So I'm gonna go for the outsiders on this one, and I'm probably gonna lock this one. A 9Z against Gamer Legion. Okay, Acre can probably 1v9 if he gets on that on the vibe, right? Suhi can do well, but from what we've seen from 9Z in the RMR, they are quite solid, and I have to go with the 9Z. So in the second matchup line, right? OG against Imperial. Mm, potentially the same matchup, and for me, if somehow Imperial managed to beat Vitality, for me it's a indication that they are probably ready to go deep in the event. And if they beat Vitality, I'm not going to be surprised if they beat OG as well. On the other side, Cloud9, easy breezy against IHC, and Fury against 9Z. In this matchup, I don't see a chance for 9Z right now. Nation against Outsiders. Uh, over here, just purely by firepower, Outsiders should be winning this one. Then Dupree and Cole gonna farm some points. Nate gonna farm some points against EG. Big against Game Legion. Mm, it's like 50-50, but only because BIG are gonna be like playing with the Sin, and we don't know how he's gonna perform on the big stage. Also, Searson on LAN is a meme, so even though we don't know how Game Legion gonna play in this event, still gonna give like slight advantage to Game Legion. Now Mouse against the Eagles. Um, for some reason, I have slightly more faith in Mouse in this one than in Bad News Eagles. But I'll be honest, it depends on the map they're gonna play. Right? If they're gonna end up playing something like Ancient, Mouse can be in a big trouble. Okay, let's go to next one. Elimination games first, right? Big. The only way you're gonna get safe from 0-3 is if you're gonna play Greyhound. But EG 0-3. That's my book. Nation against Mouse. I have to go for the Nation. I give them slight advantage. Nothing against Vitality. Oh, by this point, I believe that Zaibu will have to activate, and most likely they're gonna win. Uh, Legion against OG. OG. 9Z against IHC. As I already said, IHC is your regular CIS team, right? And 9Z, I don't know if they're going to be ready to play this type of Counter Strike with so much aggression and so on and so on and so on. They might get caught off guard, right? And potentially, uh, there is a chance for IHC to actually beat them, especially it's one map, right? Now the 3-0 games. Cloud9, I'm 100% positive they're gonna destroy Furia. Outsiders against Imperial. In best of 3, Outsiders right now have a huge advantage over the Imperial. And for this reason, I'm gonna go with the Outsiders going through 3-0. Okay. Now let's go back to elimination games. Fnatic against Game Legion. Fnatic. 9Z against Bad News Eagles. 9Z are a bit more promising. Big against Mouse. I have to go for Mouse in this one. OG against Furia. That's the interesting one. In best of 3, I believe that OG has more firepower. and Furia probably gonna crumble under the pressure right here because for some reason I don't really have much faith in Drop and Art. Probably it's maybe his last major as a Furia captain. You never know. Vitality against 0-0 Nation, best of three. Vitality not gonna give him a single chance. Imperial, this is your holy chance to go 3-1, and Imperial beating the IHC, easy. Despite that, I might put an argument through that IHC gonna play like a CIS team, blah blah. But in this particular case, it's gonna be very similar with the uh, Imperial against Cloud9 from last year, where somehow Imperial beat them, and IHC, for my point of view, they kind of in the same stage as Cloud9 were last year. Well, obviously they're not as strong, but like if we get the parallels, that's probably where they are. 0-0 Nation against 9Z. Uh, this is the game where I have to go with the 0-0 Nation again. I believe that Cold Zero is gonna step up in the crucial moments, and 9Z they're not gonna handle the pressure. Fury against Mouse. This is where, as I said multiple times, I don't believe in Mouse, and Mouse are gonna go out 2-3. IHC against Fnatic. Experience gonna play in at this point, and Fnatic just gonna go through. So, with that said, these are my potentially can happen teams, right? So now let's go and think logically, right? Greyhound, no chance. Vitality, Zaivu should be ready straight away. So first game in. IHC against EG. No matter what you tell me, I still view this game as 50-50. And for me, this potentially is even 55-45 for the IHC, right? Locked game. Bad News Eagles against Coldzera. As I said, anything can happen, and that's 50-50 game. So let's stick for the 0-0 Nation first. Locked game. In certain scenario, Game Allegiance still can win, but we're gonna stick with this at the moment, right? Then OG without a chance. Vitality, if Zaivu is ready from the game one and Magisk is in a good form, um, I believe that Vitality should be taking this. Cloud9, easy game. Outsiders, easy game as well. EG against Greyhound, EG should be taking W. Big locked game. Fnatic most likely gonna beat them. And in this game, Mouse against Yuhi, Mouse probably gonna take a W. Elimination game, ladies and gentlemen. Here is my prediction. BIG most likely gonna go out as 0-3 team. Bad News Eagles gonna knock them out. Game Allegiance should be taking out Greyhound. In a Brazilian derby, most likely Fury gonna take this one. It's a best of one. Fnatic, again Fnatic. In terms of EG against Mouse, gonna be Mouse. IHC against Uncle Fallen. It's a locked game. Cloud9 against Jame. Oof, this is gonna be a very very boring game for majority of people, right? Uh, and in this type of games, most likely Jame has like slight advantage all the time, but I believe that Cloud9 gonna be preferred, so I'm gonna pick Cloud9. On the other side, this game, if this is actual 2-0 game, boy, this is probably gonna be like one of the best games in the entire event, right? At least in a playing stage, right? Uh, Most likely this is how it's gonna be, right? But I still believe that if Fiku and Neofrag gonna be at least like on average level, they have very very good chance to beat Vitality. And with that said, I still have to give slight advantage to Vitality. But I do give a good chance, probably like 40%, that OG can upset them. That's a very good balance. Okay, outsiders against the Imperial. Technically, outsiders have an advantage over here. So no matter what, outsiders going through. Furia against Nikodos, who likes Valorant, and I believe that most likely after this major he's gonna be moving to Valorant, perhaps, maybe. But in general, Furia should be taking this one. OG, I don't see any chance for Mouse to beat them. 0-0 Nation against Game Legion. This is 1-2, so it's best of three. And in best of three, I'm 100% sure that 0-0 Nation gonna win. EG against 9Z. I'm gonna give advantage to 9Z. IHC against Bad News Eagles. Oof. This is gonna be very spicy game. Like back and forward, probably like maybe double, triple overtimes. And at the end of the day, uh, maybe the experience gonna take what it's needed, and probably the Eagles gonna win. Okay, Fnatic against Uncle Fallen. Mm, this is where I believe in probably Uncle Fallen a little bit more. However, I'm not gonna be surprised if Fnatic gonna knock them out, and maybe this is gonna be like a farewell to Fallen and Co. Right? Fallen and maybe even Fair, like together they can like announce that they're gonna retire after this, whatever, right? And with that said, maybe there's gonna be like a project of like 0-0 Nation and Imperial, like combining their rosters or whatever. Like anything can happen. Like try moving in as a sniper and like Dumao coming in as a fair replacement, whatever. Anything can happen. Um, Eagles against Mouse. Potentially, just potentially. Eagles have a really slightly higher percentage to go through in this one. It's a best of three, and in best of three, I don't see Mouse like being somehow superior uh, over the Eagles. Yes, they can beat them like even 2-0, but again, the pressure is gonna be there, right? The young players of the Mouse, I'm not sure if they're gonna handle it well. So technically, it should be Mouse going through, but I don't deduct the option where Eagles go through. So, with that said, this is the second option, right? And now, probably the most obvious one, where everything goes as expected, and OG, Vitality, probably G, then Cloud9, Zero Nation, right? OG, Vitality, Outsiders, Cloud9, Big, Uncle Fallen, Mouse, Fnatic. 1, 2, Darby, anything can happen, and most likely Furia. But it's a best of one, so who knows? But most likely it's gonna be Furia. EG against BIG, anything can happen, and like just of basically of firepower, BIG should be taking this one. Mouse against Fnatic. Fnatic have slight advantage over here. Zero Nation, probably. IHC should be beating Greyhound. And Game of Legion against Bad News Eagles. Bad News Eagles. So, OG, Outsiders, Furia, Fallen, Eagles, and Mouse. And then Fnatic, Uncle Fallen, and the elimination game. Again, Mouse most likely gonna crumble under the pressure, and it's gonna be 0-0 nation going through. So this is the most obvious way, right? Now, if we come to conclusion, like in every single bracket of mine, Cloud9 going 3-0, and OG going either 3-1, or potentially they have a good chance to upset uh, even Vitality to go 3, or they're gonna go 3-1, right? With that said, let's jump to the lineups. So, is it worth to pay 244k for the Zaiwu? I don't think so. So, with that said, because OG, especially because they have first game against Greyhound, this can be a great opportunity for them to have like a easy like 14-1 half, or like even 16-0 game, or maybe like they're gonna have like a really like easy game in general. And they're gonna start CT side 99%. So Dexter should be farming a lot of points, and to be honest, Flames should be farming a lot of points as well. And I believe this can be your best gamble if you wanna like pick not the most obvious players, right? So if we look at the most big players right now, but the fantasy is only live for like a little bit, then Inters and Zaiwu is like everyone wants to pick them, right? So just by picking like a player like Dexter, right? Because potentially Zaiwu and Dexter, they can have very similar rating, and have an extra 25k is a kind of decent option, right? So the next player is probably Magisk, because he's been really good recently, and he's finding his form, and perhaps this is like Rain 2.0, like of the Antwerp major. So that's the second pick. The third one, and I'll explain why. So Cloud9 most likely gonna have like all the 50-50 games like later the stage, right? And it's gonna be either Exile or Shiro, like trying to farm really good stats. But since Shiro is gonna be like mostly like clutching and playing the sniper rifle, like not gonna die, so on and so on and so on. So maybe like not the best ratings. And Exile farming, Inter's not suiciding. Nafani and Hobbit gonna be trying to find like the most impact probably. Nafani with like a lot of entry opportunities, and Hobbit with lurks, late lurks, uh, backstabs, and so on, so on, so on. And Hobbit might be like a really good option for kind of like 200k. So at the moment we have 375 left, and who else? Who else should we try? Hmm, Equal? I don't know. Um, in my book, 0-0 Nation is probably a team that most likely gonna perform well, and we have Coldzera, who has been playing really well recently, and with the 177k price, it's a good option. And if we're gonna check his individual stats and latest matches, we're gonna see that complexity 112, 104, 109, 128, 133. He has some really decent ratings, and for 177, it's a pretty decent one. It's a pretty decent gamble. And maybe he's just gonna find his form. He's gonna be like a beast. You never know. And we have 198k left. With 198k left, what are our options? Norbert, decent option, because most likely I expect them to go 3-1. Uh, Fiku, maybe Nexa, maybe uh, Flames. Fortunately, out of the budget, but Fiku, I don't know what to think about him right now. He has huge potential, but if we look at the maps he played, at the stats, uh, Illumina was like really really good game, but in general, like I don't know what to think about him. Like if he's gonna end up like having a similar rating like he had over here, like even like one game, 192 rating, that's extremely good points, and this can be really really good. On the other side, we can try and have a look at Neofrag rating, and Neofrag 107, 168 against Lumina. I know I don't see Neofrag like doing that well. Nexa on the other side, if we're gonna like improve another player, matches, and Nexa not worth 190k, unfortunately for him. So one of the best options is Fiku and Norbert. Nafani, Inters, maybe Dupree, but Dupree is gonna play Vitality, and then if we look at the most obvious scenario, it's gonna be like 0-0 Nation. Do I believe in Dupree in those games? I don't really know. And if we're gonna balance the team and like have a little gamble, and because I'm not really like in a great position right now in a league, let me show you. Uh, I'm on what 84 points, like almost 80 points behind the first place. So I have to go for some sort of gamble, and going for OG as a gamble maybe is a great option. Or maybe I can try to replace Hobbit with probably Inters, and I'll have 212k, which is going to be more than enough to get mm, maybe lit. And in this scenario, I believe it can actually work out. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't really like having like 5 different teams. But if I go with the Flames instead of him, I will have like a 3-0 contender, 3-0 contender, 3-0 contender. And whichever team is going to take 3-0 is basically going to prove me some good points. And OG, they have a best seeding, and they're gonna be starting the sides on a CT, unless it's gonna be like Vitality going like against them in this game. But if Vitality is kind of screw up, then technically OG can actually go for 3-0. And I'm not gonna be surprised if that actually happens. But they really have a good chance to actually farm some really really nice points in first opening games, right? And those opening games might be actually the deciders. And because of that, I think this is probably what I'm gonna end up with. Um, if we think and try to replace Inters with someone else, 190k, you don't really have that many options. And no, no good options. So let's grab Inters. If we try to replace Cold Zero with anyone, mm, also no good options. So this is gonna be my team most likely. Maybe I'm gonna make some adjustments in the next couple of days regarding the news that gonna come out or whatever. So I'm gonna lock this one in. Sniper. Um, Magisk, Panda. Okay, let's save this for later. Maybe IGL, Polzera, support role. Maybe enters the camper, perhaps. Polzera is a support role. Magisk, multi-frag, defender, not sure. Defender 100% on flames, and probably IGL on Magisk. And yeah, if we're gonna try do this, trading, I'm not sure, but I believe that potentially you can double up even if you're gonna get Dexter, and it might not be like the worst idea to kind of get like second Oper in your lineup. You're gonna try it. So boosters, boosters, boosters. Enters against Fnatic. Not gonna die. Assists, maybe. Flash, not really. Bait, I don't know. Bottom of the scoreboard, maybe, maybe. Against Bad News Eagles, trade, I don't know. Bait, I don't know. Consistency, probably the assists. Dexter, most likely gonna stomp. Magisk against Imperial. I think he's most likely gonna trade. Flames, bait, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna get to the Mr. Consistent over here. And over here is gonna be probably this way. So, am I happy with the starting boosters? Yes, I am. So, this is my lineup for now. If I'll make any changes, I'll let you know. Thanks for watching, and let me know your teams, and good luck.